Hello everyone, my name is Aarti and you're watching HW News. The controversy around the Kashi Vishwanath temple Gyanvapi Mosque is intensifying with every passing day. While the case is still in the court, the emotions are riding high among the supporters of the temple side, especially after yesterday's claim of Shivaling being found in the well inside the Vazoo pond inside the mosque. As the three-day videography survey of the Gyanvapi Mosque concluded yesterday, the elated temple side came out claiming Baba Mill Gaye, that they found the Shivaling inside. They found more than what they were searching for, this is what they said. On the other hand, the mosque side has rejected the claims and said that no Shivaling has been found inside. What the temple side claims as a Shivaling is in fact a broken fountain in the pond which is meant to provide water for the Namazees to wash their feet. According to some reports, during the survey yesterday, the court commissioners asked to empty the pond to click its picture. When the water was emptied, they found the structure in the middle of a square pond surrounded by a round wall. Some pictures and videos of the structure are also doing round on the internet. You can see those pictures on your screen right now. Well, after the structure was found yesterday, the Varanasi court ordered the DM to seal the area and close the site where the Shivaling was discovered and prohibit anybody from entering there. The DM, the Varanasi Police Commissioner and the Central Reserve Police Force Commandant Varanasi are now in charge of the protection of the Gyanvapi Masjid complex according to the court. However, there is another plea pending in the Supreme Court filed by the Gyanvapi Mosque Management Committee. The plea has challenged the Varanasi court order to conduct videography of the mosque. While the Supreme Court had refused to put a stay on the matter last week, CJI N.V. Ramanna had directed the bench led by D.Y. Chandrachud to hear the matter. Now, the controversy around Gyanvapi Mosque is as old as the Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Masjid dispute. Thus, there is caution and fear about the latest escalation in the matter. Several critics have also pointed out that the temple side's claims and attempts go against the Places of Worship Act passed in 1991. So in this video today, let us understand what is the controversy all about, what is the Places of Worship Act, and what is the temple side and BJP's defense to it. But before that, we are repeating it again and again in our videos. Please acknowledge the pattern. The country today is plagued with serious economic issues. As a country, we should be focusing on it, but there have been attempts to divert the attention from real issues and keep the masses glued to Mandir Masjid politics. At HW News, we constantly bring you the news that matters to you. With corporates owning stakes in media, there are few independent media remaining in the country. We are one of them. So please support us. Go to our website www.hwnews.in/support and choose the subscription plan that suits your budget and pay us. Because when you pay, we not only survive but thrive, to tell you the truth. Coming back to the topic, let us first understand in brief about the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Gyanvapi Mosque controversy, the history of it. While the Gyanvapi Mosque controversy is 31-year-old, mosque construction itself is 353 years old. The Gyanvapi Masjid is located near the iconic Kashi Vishwanath temple in Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi. The Kashi Vishwanath temple was originally constructed by Maharani Ahilya Bai Holkar of Malwa Kingdom. In 1669, a temple was destroyed in Varanasi and a mosque was built at Gyanvapi. Now, both of them happened during Aurangzeb's period. The question is whether the temple was destroyed to build a mosque. This question has led to another Ayodhya-like dispute in the country. Some believe that the Kashi Vishwanath temple has gone through multiple reconstructions with an older version of the temple where the Gyanvapi Mosque stands today. Some historians believe that Mughal ruler Aurangzeb built the Gyanvapi Mosque in the 17th century by demolishing the temple. The controversy first started in 1991 after some local priests claimed that Aurangzeb had demolished some parts of the Kashi Vishwanath temple to build a mosque on top of it. The priests also sought permission to worship in the Gyanvapi complex, claiming idols of Hindu gods are present there. However, the matter remained dormant and the hearing was suspended by Allahabad High Court. However, there have been differing views on the claims by the local parties. Some historians believe that the Gyanvapi Mosque and the Kashi Vishwanath temple were built by Mughal Emperor Akbar in a bid to spread awareness about his Din-e-Ilahi religious system. However, some historians support claims that Aurangzeb indeed demolished parts of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Historian Audrey Trusk, in her book Aurangzeb, the Man and the Myth, writes, and I quote, "My understanding is that the Gyanvapi Masjid was indeed built during Aurangzeb's reign. The masjid incorporates the old Vishwanath temple structure destroyed on Aurangzeb's orders as its Qibla wall. While the mosque dates back to Aurangzeb's period, we do not know who built it." She further added that the Gyanvapi Masjid still stands today in Banaras with parts of the ruined temple's wall incorporated into the building. This reuse may have been a religiously clothed statement about the dire consequences of opposing the Mughal authority. However, architectural historian Madhuri Desai believes that the Vishwanath temple was only built in 1776 and 1777 between the 2 years, and no temple building could be dated earlier than the 16th century in an article published in the Traditional Dwellings and Settlements Review. She wrote that the Vishwanath temple was built long after the Gyanvapi Mosque and stands adjacent to the latter. So it is unclear whether there was a mosque first or a temple first, and whether the temple was indeed destroyed to build a mosque. But there is no doubt that the masjid wall does have structures that could be identified with the ruined structures of Kashi Vishwanath temple. Now let us talk about how did the controversy erupted 31 years ago. In 1999, amid the charged environment of Advani Rath Yatra and Ram Janmabhoomi movement, the Gyanvapi Mosque Kashi Vishwanath dispute reached the courts for the first time. The petition sought the removal of the mosque from the site and transfer of possession of the land to the Hindu community. The petitioners, which included the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir Trust, claimed that Maharaja Vikramaditya had built the temple more than 2000 years ago and that the mosque was only constructed in 1664 after Mughal ruler Aurangzeb ordered the demolition of the temple. The petitioners also alleged that the Gyanvapi Mosque was built on a portion of the land using the ruins of the temple, saying that remains of the old temple could still be seen adjacent to the mosque. During the Ram Janmabhoomi movement for the Ram temple in Ayodhya, the VHP BJP often spoke of liberating the temples at Varanasi and Mathura as well. A popular slogan of the time was Ayodhya to bas jhaki hai, Kashi Mathura baki hai, which means Ayodhya is just a trailer, Kashi and Mathura are still remaining. One wonders whether the latest escalation is a part of that unfulfilled agenda. However, in 1998, the Mosque Management Committee moved to the court against the trust's petition. It cited the Places of Worship Special Provision Act 1991 to contend that a dispute involving religious sites could not be adjudicated as it was barred by the law. The lower court dismissed the application and then the committee approached the High Court. It also submitted in the High Court that the temple and mosque, both of them, coexisted for a long period of time and that both the communities, Hindus and Muslims, had been offering prayers in their respective shrines without any hindrance. The court then stayed the proceedings and the legal battle remained dormant for more than 20 years. It was only after the Supreme Court's Ayodhya judgment that the matter was revived again in 2019. Now, what exactly is this Places of Worship Act 1991? In the last few days, the controversy escalated, and amid the controversy, you must have heard the opponents talk about the Places of Worship Act 1991. So, what exactly is this act? Basically, it is an act to prohibit conversion of any place of worship and to provide for the maintenance of the religious character of any place of worship as it existed on 15th of August 1947, the day when India got its independence, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. That is what the long title of the Act describes. The Act was enacted in 1991 September by P.V. Narasimha Rao government in the wake of the Ram Mandir movement. The Act was introduced to preserve communal harmony in the country. It stated that the religious character of places of worship shall be maintained as it existed on August 15, 1947. Now, as the disputed Ayodhya structure was already in the court, the Act kept it out of its ambit. This act was intended to preempt new claims by any group about the past status of any place of worship and attempts to reclaim the structure or land on which they stood. Now, Section 3 of the Act bars the conversion in full or part of any place of worship of any religious denomination into a place of worship of a different religious denomination, or even a different segment of the same religious denomination. Section 4.2 says that any suit or legal proceedings with respect to the conversion of the religious character of any place of worship existing on August 15, 1947, pending before the court shall abate and no fresh suit or legal proceedings shall be instituted. The Act, however, exempts certain sites from its purview, for example, ancient and historical monuments, archaeological sites and remains that are covered by the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. It would also not apply to any suit that was settled before the 1991 Act came into force. Reportedly, the BJP had staged a walkout when the Act was passed in the Parliament. Two petitions challenging the Act have also been filed in the Supreme Court by two parties, one by Lucknow-based Vishwabhadra Pujari Purohit Mahasangh and some followers of the Sanatan Vedic religion, and the other by BJP leader Ashwini Upadhyay. The BJP had opposed the bill then. Even today, some of the members of the BJP contend that the Act exempts structure listed under the Ancient Monument Act 1951 and 1958, both of which have listed Gyanvapi as an ancient monument. But while there is also ambiguity over the application of Places of Worship Act to this dispute, here is what the Supreme Court bench delivering Ayodhya judgment in 2019 had said in its order, and I quote, "In providing a guarantee for the preservation of the religious character of places of public worship as they existed on 15th of August 1947 and against the conversion of places of public worship, Parliament determined that independence from colonial rule furnishes a constitutional basis for healing the injustices of the past by providing the confidence to every religious community that their places of worship will be preserved and that their character will not be altered." The court further said, "The law addresses itself to the state as much as to every citizen of the nation. The state, that is the government here, has by enacting the law enforced a constitutional commitment and operationalized its constitutional obligation to uphold the equality of all religions and secularism, which is a part of the basic features of the Constitution. The Places of Worship Act imposes a non-derogable obligation towards enforcing our commitment to secularism under the Indian Constitution. The law is hence a legislative instrument designed to protect the secular feature of the Indian polity, which is one of the basic features of the Constitution. The Places of Worship Act is a legislative intervention which preserves non-retrogression as an essential feature of our secular values." That is what the Supreme Court said in its Ayodhya judgment. But beyond all of this, one wonders, how long will we keep going back to the past and look to correct the historical wrongs in the present? And how far will it go? The Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi dispute, Babri Masjid demolition, led to a series of violent riots and attacks in which countless of innocent people lost their lives. After the Ayodhya judgment, many thought this will bring an end to the dispute and bring closure for us as a country, but that was not to happen. The question now is, how far will the current dispute go? A country that has seen, that has experienced and that has lived through the horrors post Ram Janmabhoomi, Babri Masjid dispute, an entire decade, an entire generation that lived in the shadow of communal tensions, I hope it does not become a lived reality for coming decades or for coming generations. Do let us know what you think about this in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in.